That's a hard question. That's a good question. I mean, if, for example, with the Odyssey stuff, because I've kind of signed up for a tour, the Odyssey stuff really takes priority at the moment. I'm going to shoot myself in the foot here. Obviously, with teaching is what I love teaching here, but ICMP are very understanding, about my other work. You know, they employ us because we are in the business. We are session guys, so if we weren't doing any gigs, that would be weird, right? So they want us obviously to be seen as their faculty to be doing gigs, so we can dep out our teaching. I would, and I have done quite a few times this year so far, taken an Odyssey gig over a function, just because, again, I signed up for that tour, and I can't really depth the Odyssey gig because of how involved it is, and I need to be there. So I would depth a function gig because I know a function gig can be covered. Does that make sense? So it's not just money. You've just got to make a common sense kind of decision about what's going to affect certain people, I suppose. Yeah. Cool, good question, man.
Anyone else? No? Yes, mate.
It's me.
What do you think about Lars Ulrich?
What is the best lesson you've learned in your career so far?
Ooh, best lesson.
And who is it from?
Okay. What I probably... Do you know what? It's two things. One is how to deal with nerves. I'm actually a very nervous person. I was bricking myself about today. I've only really, in the last couple of years, got good at public speaking. I used to stammer, and I kind of do now-ish. But I got really nervous about standing up in front of people and talking. So I got used to. I suppose it's after experience and kind of doing bigger gigs. But I've got used to kind of controlling my nerves. So that's the main one. Kind of getting experience to kind of overcome that, I suppose, and turning nerves into a positive energy. The other one is that we all make mistakes. I have made so many mistakes in my career so far, it's actually disgusting. But I say to my first years all the time, I try and take a positive out of every negative. So any mistake I've ever made, or any mistake that I make going forward, I'll just look at it and go, okay, that's happened, there's nothing I can do about it now. How am I going to learn and move on from that? So from gigs, like missing stops, or not getting the right sound on a gig, or hitting the wrong pad or something. Like Joe Clegg said a couple of weeks ago, he's like, even when he was playing, he hit the wrong pad on live TV. It happens, we're all human. It's just how you overcome that, and I've seen so many people get eaten up by the mistakes they've made. Just take from it a positive thing. So every day in the industry, you can always take a positive thing out of it, even if it's a bad thing. Cool. Thanks, Ben.
Anyone else? Yes.
If you have a talk or a gig, how do you know that it's actually worth it? So, for example, if you audition for a tour, how do you know if this, if it's actually going to go anywhere, or if you should perhaps not do it if you have different offers?
Yeah, cool.
How do you know if it's actually worth it?
So I did so many free gigs when I was at Drum Tech that I was like, am I ever going to make any money in the industry? But an example of this, you don't know really. You can make, as you get more experience, you can make a decision on whether you think it's actually worth it. Is this music actually any good, or do you actually think it's going to go anywhere? But what I would say is that when I was at Drum Tech, I actually started playing for Ledra Chapman, who teaches here now. And we did a load of tours with her, and we got paid nothing. And I did it just because I used to do loads of free stuff at Tech to get my name around. And I didn't actually think at the time it was going to go anywhere. And then we did This Morning on live TV. Then we did a massive tour, and it started kind of building up. So I had no idea that was going to happen, but I just took the chance. And now is the time to take that chance, because you've got a lot of spare time. There's gigs now where, because I'm busy, I'll just be like, no, sorry. You know, if it's not, I know it sounds really bad, but if it's not for a certain amount of money and it's not going to be a good play, I just won't do it. So I'll happily go to a jam night or like, you know, play for someone, a mate of mine, because I know it's going to be a really fun gig. But I just kind of haven't really got time now to do stuff unless I'm getting paid for it. The other thing as well, when we did that tour with Ledger Chapman, we supported a guy called Andrew Roachford on our first tour. And if any of you guys know him, he's a massive, massive soul artist. He had #1s all over the shop. He's written for Michael Jackson. He's a big sort of force in the game, and he's had a career probably spanning 50 years now. And he liked what I did on the tour, gave me a ring 2 months later, and I got an 8-month tour straight off the bat. And I had no work basically, and I was doing all Ledger Chapman's gigs for free. I hope you can't hear this. Don't show anyone that, Julio. And I literally got this tour. So I went from having no gigs and no work to then having 8 months worth of work. And then all of a sudden, all my endorsements came in because he was a big artist. So I went from doing something for free to getting a proper professional tour, 5-star hotels, good money, a long span of dates. So from nothing to that, because I did something for free and I took a chance. So it's the music industry, you never know whether it's going to work out, do you know what I mean? But just make that, if you can, that sensible sort of decision. And if you know in your gut that you think it might work, then maybe go for it.
Yes, ma'am.
As a player, when did you start practicing BBs and how did you approach it?
That beautiful man at the back. Put your hand up, Nick. Can we get the lights on and show this beautiful man's face? Come on. Turn the light on. No, I'm joking. Nick, who's my best mate, and he's my best mate, and he showed me how to sing. And I always knew that I could pitch, roughly. And Nick kind of showed me a few different techniques and stuff like that. and showed me harmonies, and all of a sudden I kind of was like, oh, okay, I can pitch. So if I can pitch, I don't have to have the best voice in the world. I could just back Nick's voice up. And then came the this is why I had so much respect for him when he showed me, because then I started playing drums and singing, and then it was a whole new ball game. I was like, wow, I've got to do 4-way coordination and then 5-way coordination because I've got to sing as well. So I basically just forced myself to do it. And just started doing it bit by bit, so I'd kind of introduce a few different harmonies. The other thing I started doing was like just playing and doing like unison stuff. So like, you know, you get like almost like the gang vocals in like certain songs, like Car Wash, for example, they do that work that little bit. Doing stuff like that, so you're just getting used to kind of using the mic and doing it whilst you're playing. And now I actually feel weird if I play drums and don't sing on function gigs. And I really, really enjoy having a microphone there. Me and Nick do a lot of sort of duo gigs in town and stuff like that, and a lot of trio gigs. And I love doing BBs. I really, really enjoy it. And I'd like to do a bit more lead stuff at some point. But I just kind of now I can kind of see what Nick does now when he plays guitar and sings. I almost separate. My drums on that side, so I can just forget about them. I've got them taken care of, and then I kind of sing with the other side, and so I can actually concentrate on pitching.